Hello there, adventurers, and welcome back to another episode of the Awkward Dungeon Master. This week, I want to talk to you guys about throwing the rulebook out the window. So before we get started, you guys, I want to read a quote to you from the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's page 4, part of the introduction, and it's a pretty good one. So down at the bottom of page 4, there's this awesome little sentence that says, "The D&D rules help you and the other players have a good time, but the rules are not in charge." I know that a lot of people are not going to agree with this opinion, but it is my opinion, so here it is. You have to be willing to set aside the rules when it's appropriate to create a better story. If something makes sense within your world or for a character and it's going to make the story awesome, just do it. Don't let the books hinder you from creating something amazing. And there's always going to be that one person at the table that's like, no, but the book says. And to that I say, your dungeon master is in charge. You have to trust them. If they are making a choice that is not in line with the rule books, you have to believe that it's going to make the story better. It's going to enrich your game, and it's going to make it more fun for you to be there. I can give you guys a prime example of this. I was running Tomb of Annihilation over at the Burrow. Spoiler alert, by the way, in case anyone is playing in that adventure, just walk away from this section of the video, because it kind of talks about the last parts of the adventure a little bit. When you reach the city of Omu, there are gargoyles all around the outside, and I had a pair of boys that were very good friends at school, and they decided they wanted to play Twin Paladin Aasimar. Decided they were going to fly over the city to scout. Perfectly reasonable. Made total sense to them. Everyone else was a little bit suspicious of the gargoyles every 100 feet, very specific, but that is what they wanted to do, so they did it. The second they went over the city of Omu, all of the gargoyles activated and attacked them. When this happened, one of the two brothers dropped to 0 hit points and fell 200 feet into the city by himself before he could get back to the cliffside with the rest of the party and his brother. The immediate visceral reaction of his friend was to say, "I drop to my knees and I pray to my God to help my brother." So in that moment, I made a decision as the dungeon master to allow him to try to do a divine intervention. Now, I made that choice because this particular player had spent the better part of the adventure with this particular character, praying to his God every time he needed guidance. He would specifically say to me, "I want to go off and I want to spend 10 minutes by myself praying in quiet to ask my God for guidance in this matter." And that happened almost every time we played. So I felt like it was fair in that moment to say, this is a religious man. This is someone who's very close to him. He had that visceral reaction. I'm going to reward that behavior, that engagement with the role play, and that commitment to his character by allowing him to do something that he shouldn't be able to do. And frankly, it turned out really cool. In the moment, there was a bit of an argument at the table. I had a couple players that were very by the book, and they all kept saying, "But he can't do that. He's a paladin, not a cleric. He doesn't get that ability. He doesn't even get that ability if he were a cleric at a higher level." And I said, "Guys, I need you to trust me. I am rewarding him for his roleplay up until this point. That is something that I can do as a dungeon master when I see fit. Trust me." So he rolled his divine intervention roll. Here's the thing. They were level 7. He had a 7% chance of success. That's fucking insane. What does he do? He rolls percentile, and he rolls a 3. I shit you not. He says, "I want to save my brother. I am praying to my God to save my brother." I told him, "Roll percentile. You need a 7 or lower." And he rolled a 3. And I said, "What are you praying for?" He said, "I want to be able to get to my brother because he had already used his wings for the day, and I want my brother to not be dead because he didn't have a way to bring him back." And I said, "I'm not giving you both of those things. You have to pick one." And in that moment, he had to decide what was more important to him, getting to his brother and hoping that he could find a way to save him, or saving him and hoping that his brother could find a way to not die on his own within the city of Omu. And he chose for his brother to come back with 1 hit point in a hostile city that nobody was familiar with. And somehow, well, not somehow, the other player was very active in roleplay as well and was able to make an alliance with the Yanti within the city because he fell relatively near their stronghold. And they agreed to get him back to the party in exchange for help in defeating Azarak, which they were already going to do. And it gets better. The very next day in game, once they were reunited, they went into one of the shrines where they have to get the puzzle cubes. And the brother who saved his life died waiting for him to get out of a dungeon because he was afraid he was going to watch him die again. So their roles were reversed. And then we had this amazing role play section of that session of him doing burial rites for his brother. And none of that would have happened unless I had allowed them to make that role. So think outside of the box. Trust your instincts. The book doesn't have to completely dictate what you do with your table. Just loosen up a little bit. Something awesome might happen. Thanks for watching this video. And until next time, keep it rolling, adventures.